Greetings, friends. I want to share a story with you that took place 40 years ago in my life. As you may or may not know, I was a Navy chaplain for 20 years. I had 12 years active duty and then the last 8 in the reserves. And I retired then as a commander. But during those early years, I was assigned to a guided missile cruiser called the USS Reeves, homeported in Yokosuka, Japan. Rivers and I lived there for almost 3 years. And during 1981, that ship was underway about 60% of the time away from Japan. In fact, that year we steamed over about 65,000 miles on that ship. And in September the 19th to be exact, 1981, my ship, the Reeves, was going on up to Pattaya Beach, Thailand, through the South China Sea. And we came across a boat that was 40 feet long with 80 Vietnamese refugees who were trying to escape Vietnam from the communist tyranny. And they had a boat and they had launched it and they were adrift. And there were a lot of Thai pirates in the area. And so our captain decided that we'd rescue that boat and take those 80 people onto our ship and take them into Thailand, which we did. And so we tied up and anchored outside of Pattaya Beach. There was no docks there. And after 5 days, we were able to transport those 80 people into a United Nations camp so they could then get safe passage to somewhere in the world. Now, if they're part of the Communist Party, they were taken to a neutral country like Sweden. But if they weren't, they were able to go to the US or France. They could pick a country of their choice that would take them. And so it was a monumentous event. I mean, we actually saved the lives of these 80 people. You know, they may have sunk at sea, it doesn't matter. But I can remember that when we brought them on board, then our machinist mates went out on the ship and they detonated their boat. And as that thing blew up, that 40-foot boat blew up, they all cheered on the rear of the ship. It was called the fantail. They were with excitement because they knew now they were going to have a new life and a new home. That was 40 years ago. Now, lo and behold, just recently, a young man that I was part of that rescue, who now lives in Vietnam, connected with me on Facebook. Think about it, out of 7 billion people in the world, he was able to find me through this social media means and reached out to me, his name's Hong, to let me know that he was, in fact, he said, here, I'm the second guy on the left in this picture with me standing there on the fantail of the ship. He said, that's him. And he was able to not only point himself out, but share a little bit about what he's doing. He's now a Christian and living in, I think, in Hanoi. And so I reached out to him through an email. But so 40 years ago, one of the men rescued on that boat just reached out to me. And then following that, a sailor who had been on the ship during the same time, a signalman, also somehow saw this and reached out to me to let me know that he was part of the crew. And in fact, they called me Chaps, which was kind of short for chaplain. He said, hey, Chaps, it's good to see that you're still kicking, still around. You know, but listen, I was really blessed when I got the feedback from this young man in Vietnam to know that he was rescued by our ship 40 years ago, and now that he's doing well. And think about it for a moment, how God just works in miraculous ways, things that happened in our life that a long time ago, that we've forgotten. How God has done something back there and brings it to fruition in a way that exalts his kingdom and elevates his work. And here's this young man, Huang, in Vietnam now that reached out and shared this to me. I wanted to share this with you because it's such a blessing to me and just to know that as I'm giving these out twice a week, these videos on Facebook, that it's able to reach out to over 50, now 60 countries. This year, it's going to be 1.5 million people are going to receive the reaches or the videos that we're sending out from Facebook and eBlast through MailChimp. So look, I'm excited. I'm excited to reconnect with these two individuals, and hopefully if we get some feedback, I'll share some of what's going on with you down the line through another Facebook. But in the meantime, rejoice with me to think that 40 years ago, on September 19th, 1981, we were able to rescue at sea 80 people and save their lives from potential harm and to know that 2 of them are still doing well today. Isn't that exciting? Look, if you want to reach out to me, share your comments, hit the Facebook comment right now. Let me know what's going on. If you need a prayer request, go to my website, paultescheministries.com, hit the prayer button, and I'll get back to you. I'm getting between a half a dozen and a dozen prayer requests every day that I'm answering. And again, I just want to underscore, I'm doing this for you, to encourage you, to lift you up, to build up your faith in God who loves you through Jesus Christ very much. So go in peace and serve the Lord. And all God's people said, amen.